So I actually changed up my makeup. Instead of doing black eyeliner under my eye, I just took a gray eyeshadow and just smudged it under my eye a bunch. In the past, I've tried this and I never really liked it, but today I was kind of feeling it, and I feel like I'm just gonna wear it for the day, see how I feel about it, and if I like it, I might change my makeup routine. Oh my god, I've like I said, I literally have never changed what I've done. Just the products. Oh, also, if anybody cares, I actually did run out of the color that I originally used on my lid, and I've now switched to using this one. So if anybody has this palette and wanted to recreate that, that's the color I'm using now. I told you I'm not picky. Hey dudes, today we're gonna read some more of your scary stories, your paranormal stories. I have just picked 3 stories out that we're gonna be reading today, and yeah, let's just get right into it, I guess. So the first story I'm gonna be reading today comes from Cassie, and she says, "Hey Ashley, I've been watching your paranormal stories on YouTube and find all of your experiences, as well as the ones you share of others, very interesting. So I thought I should share one of mine as well. I know it is long, but there are basically 3 stories combined from one night into what I wrote, so if you want, you can feel free to just talk about 1 or 2 of them." Nah, we're gonna read them all. About 2 years ago, my mom, dad, and I visited the Queen Mary, which is a haunted ship located in Long Beach, California. I've actually always wanted to go visit that so bad. Like, I really want to go one day. It is also a hotel and popular haunted attraction. We thought it would be fun to stay the night and go on a paranormal investigation tour there. When the tour began, we first spent about an hour walking around the ship with the tour guide while he explained some history of the boat and also some other people's paranormal experiences there. We used some ghost hunting equipment and tried to hear/see ghosts with them, but had no luck. Although we weren't getting any proof of spirits being present, I was just having fun and not really expecting anything paranormal to actually happen on this tour, since it's just a fun tour. But then we go into the bow of the ship, and the tour guide stands in the middle and is holding a spirit box, which is another piece of equipment that should help us communicate with other spirits. I just bit my tongue as I said that. Everyone else on the tour is standing around him in a circle, about a foot or 2 away from each other, just focusing on what he's saying to the box and what we hear coming out of it. A few minutes into this happening, I feel my hair being pulled to the point of my head going backwards a bit. It was not an aggressive or super hard pull, but enough to feel like somebody definitely just pulled my hair. My parents were standing on either side of me, too far away for it to have been them without them making it completely obvious. I was a few feet away from the wall behind me, and there was nobody else near me that could have done that to me. I immediately started freaking out and just froze when I realized that it couldn't have been a real person pulling my hair. Nothing else happened to me in that room, but later we went into the pool room, which is supposedly one of the most haunted places on the ship, and also where some say a portal for spirits may be located. We first just went near the pool and listened to the tour guide talking. Then we started walking towards the girls' dressing room. Right as I entered that room, I immediately began to feel really dizzy and nauseous. I remember telling one of my parents that I randomly felt sick and I didn't know why, but I decided to continue with the tour and hope that the feeling went away. I entered the room, which was a long hallway of empty dressing rooms with no curtains anymore, so everyone decided to go into a dressing room as we did more ghost hunting. Me and my mom were in one dressing room, and everyone else picked their own to be in with one other person. As we were listening to the tour guide and trying to communicate with ghosts, I felt somebody touch my hair again. This time, my hair was draped in front of me on my left shoulder, and it felt as if somebody slowly ran their fingers through my hair and then released it. Since my hair was in front of me, I would have clearly seen if somebody's hand had touched me, then moved away. But I didn't see a single thing. The only person who could have touched me at all was my mom, but she was to the right of me and did not move at all when any of this was happening, as I could see her in my peripheral view. As we left that room, the tour guide was talking about other people's experiences in there, and one thing he said was that people tend to feel sick or dizzy when entering a haunted place, and specifically that room. So that explains why I was feeling sick, which I didn't know when I first began feeling weird. After the tour was over, my parents and I went back to our room to sleep. Originally, I was going to sleep in one room by myself, and my parents were going to be in the other room sharing a bed, but I was too scared from my experiences earlier that evening, so my dad offered to sleep in the room alone, and I could sleep with my mom. In the middle of the night, I woke up from hearing somebody screaming, but right when I was fully awake, I didn't hear it anymore, so I brushed it off as a noise in my dream. I decided to just go back to sleep, so I turned on my left side facing my mom, and the edge of the bed was behind me. I had just closed my eyes and was about to try sleeping again when I heard a scream that sounded like it was right behind me. My eyes shot open because that time I knew that noise did not come from a dream, and I thought my mom would have heard it too, since it was so loud to me. I looked and my mom was sound asleep. I was too scared to look behind me, so I eventually just closed my eyes and went to sleep, but I was really creeped out this entire night to say the least. If you guys have seen my videos where I talk about my own personal experiences, I have had instances where I've heard things like in the middle of the night, like Cassie just explained, which thank you for sharing your story. That is so creepy. So sorry you went through that, but also, oh my god, you experienced so much on that ship. That's crazy. That is so crazy. I really want to go there just to see everything. I've seen videos of it and so this next story comes from Elena, and she says, "Hey, so I'm subscribed to your YouTube channel and I just watched your third Reading Your Paranormal Stories video, and it reminded me of one of the many experiences that I've had. I used to live in a small home built in the late 1700s to early 1800s that used to be a carriage repair shop. That's kind of cool. It was then moved from all the way out in Utah to where I live in Michigan." Oh my god, they moved it? Wait, that's crazy. "I live in a small town with a lot of history. It's a railroad town that was settled in the 1700s, and one half of the town was settled by the British, and the other part was a Native American settlement. My house was right on the border of both. The house I live in used to be owned by the town blacksmith, his wife, and his young daughter. He had some mental issues, and one time, late at night, he came in from his shop in the backyard, which was later converted into a garage, and sealed the windows shut, I assume with concrete or caulk if they had that back then. Closed off all the vents except the one in his and his wife's room and his daughter's, then went to the boiler room in the basement and broke the furnace so that carbon monoxide filled both rooms. His wife and daughter died overnight, but he survived because he stayed out in the living room. I don't know what happened after that, but I'm positive that I used to see his daughter and his wife." Wait, what? He killed his family? "My attic was on one side of the wall and the bathroom was on the other. Sometimes I'd see a young girl, probably 6 to 8 years old, walk through the wall from inside the attic, across my room, and into the wall on the other side. She wore a brown and white dress with a little apron thing, and she had long brown hair that curled at the ends. Then sometimes when I'd get up to use the bathroom, which was directly next door to my bedroom at the top of the steps, I used to see a woman standing at the bottom of the steps staring at me. She had on a light blue dress with an apron, and she had long brown hair as well. Her and the little girl looked like they could be related, which leads me to believe that it was the wife and the daughter of the blacksmith. I always got positive vibes from the little girl, but there was something off about the mom. She'd stare at me like she was mad at me. Maybe it was because I was sleeping in what used to be her room and living in what used to be her house. I don't know." And you lived there? I don't like thinking about that. Why wouldn't they just burn down the house if like people were like, I mean, I know that there are like houses that people have been like murdered in or like killed like that, but why do they leave them up? Why wouldn't you just burn them down? I feel like that, like, one, that's a bad memory, and two, it just sets you up for like a paranormal like haunting, you know, like people are gonna be mad. Ghosts are gonna be mad. Like, that's so sad that he did that to his family. I know that you said he had mental health issues, which I'm curious as to what mental health issues he had. Like maybe schizophrenia or something, but like I don't know. That's crazy. Wait, did you say you still live there? Oh, you used to live. Oh my god, I'm so glad you don't still live there. That's crazy. But thank you so much, Elena, for sharing that with me. That's so spooky. Okay, I actually just want to apologize in advance really quick. For this next story, I actually don't know the girl's name. I believe she is Croatian or Italian. I'm not sure. I kind of stalked her Instagram a little bit to try to see like where she was from, and her most tagged pictures are from Croatia and Italy. So she's one of those. I'll put the name that I think is her name right here, but I'm not sure if it is or not. So if it's not, I'm so sorry. But hi, I just binged all your videos and I love them. I just finished watching you read your subscribers' paranormal stories, so I thought I'd share mine. A little backstory. My grandma was born in 1923. Her name is Rosella, short Rose. That's a really pretty name, actually, Rosella. She had 3 sisters and a brother, and she was the second youngest, her brother being the youngest. Basically, when she was really young, around 10 years old, a carriage ran over her and fractured her spine and deformed her back. Oh my god, that's horrible. Her father didn't want to spend any money on sending her to a real doctor, so he paid a gypsy to just rub some natural ointments on Rose's back. Rose hated her father for this because she had a hump all her life because he was cheap, and he didn't want to send her to college because he thought that college education was just for boys, and he saved money to send Rose's younger brother to college. Anyway, fast forward a couple decades, my grandma never talked about her father to anyone, and she cut him out of all of her family photos, so pretty much no one knew what he looked like. Not even my mom, because Rose's father passed away long before she had my mother. We lived in a house with my grandparents at the time, and everyone was sleeping in our rooms. In the morning at breakfast, my brother, at the time he was around 6 years old, I cannot pronounce his name. I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna try. I'll put his name right here. I just don't want to butcher it. So that's his name. Oh. Asked, why does that man need to protect us? No one knew what he was talking about, so we asked him what man, and he went on to say that he had a conversation with a man in his dream. He said that he flew from his room and he was flying around the house when he saw a man sitting on our roof, and when he asked the man what he was doing, the man replied with, I'm protecting all of you. When he pressed on about why and from what he was protecting us, the man just said, I'm sorry, and you have to go back. We were all very creeped out, but we thought it was just his imagination. That was until he started describing the man. As he was describing the man's features, my grandma was going paler by the second. My brother described his great-granddad / Rose's dad in great detail. He even said that the man had a large mole that was going from his neck to his jawline, which is very specific. My grandma was so shocked she asked her sister to borrow a picture of their father to show my brother, and when my brother was shown the picture, he said that was the man. My brother never saw the man in his dreams again, and just to clarify, he couldn't have seen his great-grandfather anywhere, because not even my grandma had pictures of him in the house. I know it's a bit long, but I hope you enjoy, and I can't wait for your next video. Oh my god, you're so cute. Thank you so much for sending that to me. It's so crazy that animals and kids can see spirits so well. And so like when a kid, I think you said he was 6 years old, right? 6 years old? I think so. So like when a 6-year-old starts talking about things like that, it's very like you know that they're seeing something, because kids are so more susceptible to the paranormal and ghosts and stuff like that. My mom tells me that when I was like little, I think like maybe like between the ages of like 1 or 2, maybe younger, that I used to just sit there and like, or like lay there, sit there, whatever, and just kind of like look at the wall and then just start smiling or laughing. And my mom tells me that it used to freak her the fuck out all the time, because she was like, fuck, Ashley's seeing something that I don't see, like there's a person there. She said that Al did it too when she was little. So it's like, it's no secret that like kids can see ghosts. So that's so crazy. I love hearing stories like that where it's like they see something or they see a person and they describe it, and then their family members are like, you saw this person, but you have no idea what that person looks like, so like we definitely know you saw that person. It's just, oh, that's such a cool story. But oh my gosh, your poor grandma. So thank you to everybody who has sent me their stories so far. I'm really trying to get through all of them. But that being said, if you do have a story that you haven't shared with me yet and you want to, you can always DM me on Instagram. I'm trying to get through them all. I have started just reading some of them just so I can reply to you guys, just because I don't want to just never reply to your stories. I will either be replying to it or including it in a video, but I'm so sorry, I don't know. Unless I just made a video like this every single freaking day, which isn't possible, I don't think I'm gonna be able to read everybody's stories, and that really makes me sad. So that's why I wanted to start replying to some of them, just so you guys know that I read it, just so it's not sitting in my inbox and I never get to them, which would make me sad, because you guys spend so much time writing it for me to see, and I want to make sure that I see all of them. So if you have sent me a story, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to want to type out a long message to send to me to read. It really means a lot. Like, you guys don't know, like that's so nice. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye everybody. There's a cat hair in my eye. But like, when isn't there a cat hair in my eye, honestly? Did I get it? No. Owning 3 cats, well, 1 cat here and then 2 cats at my mom's, I get cat hairs literally everywhere. Like, I can't just not have cat hairs everywhere. Like, my pants right now, they're covered. Oh, you can see it. Oh, you can see it. It's like I sit on the ground for 3 seconds and automatically I'm just covered. No matter how much you vacuum, no matter how much you lint roll, no matter how much you dust or anything, you will never get rid of pet hair.